All right, in this video, I'm going to be talking about the synthesizer section of Ultrabeat. And it's important to know that all of the settings in the synthesizer, displayed in the synthesizer window, correspond to whatever you have selected in the assignment list over here. So if you have kick 1 selected, for instance, like I do right now, anything you do in the settings in the synthesizer section is only going to affect kick 1. It's not going to affect any of the other voices in here. Let's see. Let's start off by zeroing out a sound and just getting a sine wave. So what you're going to do is hold down Control and click on kick 1. It'll give you a pop-up list, and you're going to go down to initial INIT and then select sine wave. All right. What that's going to do is just pull up Ultrabeat's just going to be playing a sine wave so we can hear everything that it's doing. So if you hit this note, you can hear a sine wave is playing. First thing I want to do is just talk about the signal flow of Ultrabeat. There's 2 oscillators and 1 noise generator. This dark red section up here is all oscillator 1. The dark red section down here on the bottom is all oscillator 2. And then this dark red section in the middle right here is the noise generator. All right. And you can turn either of the oscillators or the noise generator on and off. All 3 of them have separate power buttons. So if you can turn it off by or turn it off and on by clicking on the power button. When it glows red, it's on. So that's oscillator 1. Let's hear what the noise generator sounds like. Noise. And then oscillator 2 is set to a sine wave as well right now. All right. In all three of the generators, the signal is going to start right here, and then it's going to move the oscillators. It's going to move through a pitch slider, so you can control the pitch. So if you pull this down, you hear the pitch gets lower, pitch gets higher. After it goes through the pitch slider, it's going to go through this volume knob right here. Each of the oscillators and the noise generator all have separate volume knobs. So that's cool because you can control separately. Like if you wanted a little bit of noise to play with this sine wave, or a lot of noise to play with the sine wave, you can adjust the volume of both of those independently. All right. After it goes through this volume knob, you have 2 choices. You can either send it into the filter and distortion section right here in the middle, or you can just send it right to the output. And the button to send it to the filter and distortion section is right here, this little red circle with an arrow in it. If you click on that, it's grayed out. That means that that oscillator 1 is going to go, the output of this volume knob is going to go right to the main output of this voice. All right, it's not going to go through the filter section. There's 3 of these little arrows. There's one right here for oscillator 1. There's one down here for oscillator 2, and you can send the noise generator through the filter section as well. After it goes through the filter section or not, you have the choice of inserting EQ with these buttons, band 1 or band 2, and you activate those by clicking on their names, and it turns red. And you can send it through a pan mod if you want, or a spread, but not both, obviously, by clicking on either one of those names as well. We'll talk about modulation in a later video. So all three of the sound generators work pretty much the same way. They all go through this volume knob. You can send them through the filter section or not, and then they're going to pass through this section right here with the EQ if you have it activated, and then they're all going to go through this this volume knob here at the end. All right, so I'm going to start by talking about oscillator 1 and just the different settings in oscillator 1. You have the choice of 3 different types of generators for oscillator 1. You can have a phase oscillator, which is what we're hearing. It's what's creating the sine wave right now. You can have an FM modulator, which sounds the same right now because it's not modulating anything, but or you can have actually a sound from outside of Ultrabeat. You can sidechain it so that that sound is affected by all of the filters and all the cool stuff here in Ultrabeat. That's actually pretty cool. Why don't we start off there? So if you have a some kind of noise or some kind of signal playing on an outside track, you would highlight or click on sidechain so that it glows red. Then you would go over here to where it says sidechain in the top right and select whatever track or input or whatever you want to come into Ultrabeat. And that's the routing for that. Then for the FM modulation, you need to have oscillator 2 turned on as well, because this has to have something to modulate. So if we turn on oscillator 2 and then turn this up, you can hear all right. And then finally, there is a phase oscillator, which is what was creating the sine wave to start with. This is what the phase oscillator is usually what oscillator 1 is going to be set to. The phase oscillator defaults to just creating a sine wave, but then you can affect that sine wave so that it sounds like different types of waves. The knob all the way to the left, the slope knob, is going to kind of turn the sine wave into a triangle wave. You can hear that. Saturation is going to clip the tops of the sine wave so that it sounds like a square wave. And the asymmetry slider is going to turn the sine wave into like a square tooth wave. Or a sawtooth wave, I'm sorry. Square tooth. All right. And that is oscillator 1.